Welcome to Ignite Intimacy, a podcast exploring intimacy, romantic relationships, sexuality, and the all of everything that relates to these hot topics. We're going in. You ready? This is your host, Miss La. Let's do this. Hello, Ignite Intimacy community. This is Miss Laura, and it is Thanksgiving weekend here in the States. And I'm really just excited that this woman who's on the line with us today, she's another femmepreneur, and she saw a gap in the sex and intimacy industry and decided to fill that gap, which is super exciting because this is like a brand new type of episode for us, covering sex toys. And we haven't really at all, hardly, about sex toys. So I'm really, really excited to have Isabelle on the line with us today. What's going on, Isabelle?
Hi, I'm from Montreal, so it's pretty cool at the moment.
Yeah, it's cool down here too. I'm in Buffalo, New York for the holiday, and we are getting some nice, crisp autumn weather bordering on like early winter weather. So it's great to have you. I think you may be our first guest on the podcast from Canada.
Yay! First in every category.
Yes. And so cool. So I came across Isabelle online. I was just doing some research and I came across her company in French. It's Désirables. Is that right? Okay. And then in English, you could just say Desirables. And so, Isabelle, tell us just a little bit about like your company and just like how it all kind of started for you.
Absolutely. So I'm an industrial designer. I started studying industrial design back in 2008. And before that, I'm an entrepreneur daughter. So my dad started a company when I was younger.
Oh, that's cool.
Thanks. I always knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to start my own company someday, but I was just waiting, for the right idea or the right problem to tackle. So that's it for the business. And so I was in industrial designs, and we did Tupperware night for sex toys, where you gather your friends and a salesperson comes to show you sex toys and lubes and things like that. Yep. We had a night like this to, with friends at school. And so my friends incited, sorry for sometimes I won't choose the right words since I'm French Canadian. My friends helped me choose a cock ring for me and my boyfriend at the time.
Okay.
So I bought that, came back home, showed it to my boyfriend. And the first thing he said was, no, it's not going to go in our bedroom or anywhere near him. Yeah, major whoops. And you cannot return, those things, or I would have felt very bad returning a sex toy. So I was like, okay, it vibrates, I should try it on myself and just see where it goes. So I take my scissors to try to open the thing because, it's a plastic packaging, really rigid and tough to open. So that's my first impression with the toy. So I tried to open it with scissors, and it took me like 2 minutes just to open the packaging. And after that, the cock ring is a latex purple dolphin, all smushy, the dust stick on it, and it smells like a new car.
Oh, God. Sounds really sexy.
Yeah, that's really my definition of sexy. So it's the dolphin stayed in a box forever, except in the friend's dinner when I took it out and, just made fun of it.
Nice.
Because from an industrial designer point of view, it's really bad design. There is no customer experience. It's terrible. So I started looking at sex toys online in our newsletters and things like that. And I was always kind of unhappy about what I saw. It didn't resonate with me, didn't resonate with my view of sexuality. For me, sexuality has always been connected with intimacy, with a romantic side. And all I saw was, representation of penises, rubber ducks, dolphin, and things like that. So really nothing on the market resonated with me.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do in my university program is you do 3 years studies, and the 4th year is a personal project that you tackle for a whole year.
Awesome.
And usually this project will define you in the world of design in Canada. This is your niche, your market.
Really?
As it is. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
So my friends dared me to do my project on sex toys. I wasn't really sure at the time, but it's such an interesting topic for research, and, you know, it's such an underestimated problem in society that I really wanted to tackle it, to study it more and see where I could go with it. Also, part of the story that isn't known until, you know, right now, we're going to do another first today, is I woke up in a long-term relationship at 22 years old with no sex life.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
That's a huge problem. I always had a great relationship with my sexuality and was always, you know, comfortable with it. And so I woke up after 2 years in a relationship and my boyfriend didn't want to have sex with me anymore. My libido was still there, but his was not. I didn't know how to bring it back, or how was I the problem? It caused me a lot of shame. And so I took this project also as a kind of a therapy for me. I think.
Wow.
22 and no sex life. It's really, you know, it's for me, it's unusual, and I can laugh at it now. But at the time, it was really painful for me to, you know, just don't know what to do with it, because even though we have some kind of sex ed in Canada, we don't have any education around intimacy and how to build it for the long term and things like that. So you end up with no sex and you just don't know what to do anymore with yourself.
Wow. Yeah. And I know for me, I could make it all about me. Yeah. And just like feeling really bad about myself and like what's wrong with me and, you know, what am I not doing right and that kind of thing. And I'm wondering, it sounds like you had listened to episode 46 with Eva Clay. Yeah. Because we go into that.
Definitely. That resonated with me.
Was that helpful for you to listen to that?
Yeah, especially the part where she says that, you know, specialists sometimes will have to struggle and go through a personal struggle to learn more things and then teach them to others.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I really feel like this was the case for me. So I took this as an opportunity to really know more about intimacy and human sexuality. I even studied a bit of neurobiology, sexology, and, you know, basic market research. What are the products are there? What are the materials that are used? What are the ways that people buy sex toys? So I really did a wide research for like 8 months on the subject. My first I thought that the problem was really the aesthetic of the toys, that there wasn't an aesthetic that, you know, was more design. But back in 2004, 2005, big companies like Lelo, Jimmy Jane, and things like that started out, and they're more design-oriented companies. So I needed to find what was the real problem that I saw in the market. So while doing more research, I found out that one of the big problem in the sex toy industry is the lack of I don't know how to say it in English, accompagnement, we would say, when you work with someone or teach them, or do you have the word for me?
like accompaniment or? Yeah. Okay.
Definitely. So most sex toy, you will buy them and you have the installation manual or manual, how to open them, how to clean them, store them, and how to change batteries. That's pretty much it. But people buy sex toys for, you know, they want to improve their sex life. There's a goal to achieve that is more than just reaching orgasm. Yeah. So I wanted to tackle this a bit. And also with research, I found out that there's no legislation for manufacturers in terms of material use. So they can put whatever they want in your sex toys. that's a big issue that some sex shops try to address. But if there's no manufacturers that take the ethic side of the problem, then there's no toys to sell.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I mean, that's a big deal because I mean, for women, well, and for men, like if we're inserting something in our bodies, right? Like, I mean, that's a big deal. If there isn't care and concern taken with what the toy is actually made of, like any chemicals that might be in the materials, and then also just like the porous nature of the toy. And if things can be transferred, like STDs and other types of germs.
Definitely. Porous toys is an issue, especially since people don't know that you cannot wash them. You know, porous toys, is like a sponge. So even if you try to spray it with a cleaner for toys, try to spray your sponge with a cleaner. It will never be clean. It will always have problems in it, bacteria and things like that. So it's really, that is one side of the problem. The other side is the presence of phthalates in toys.
Okay.
Phthalates are a known carcinogenic that is banned from children toys and even dog toys in certain countries, but there's no regulation whatsoever about them in the sex toy industry.
Interesting.
What does phthalate? Phthalate is plasticizers that they will put in plastics when they mold them to make them more easy to mold and more cheap to fabric. And with time, this plastic will swell out of the original mix and get out of the product.
Wow.
So in the US, you have a store named Smith & Kitten, a great sex store. They did a video about a jar where they put toxic sex toys in it, and you can see the fog in the jar with time.
Oh my gosh.
It's really shocking. So this phthalate, they go out of the product, and what it does when it enters the body is your body recognizes it as hormones. So it will channel them to your genital or your genitals.
Wow.
And with time, it will accumulate like lead. It's the same principle. With time, it will accumulate and eventually just, mess up all your genitals. And for women, it's even worse because it can be transferred to the baby.
Wow.
No, it's really disgusting. And phthalates are present in even Nutella or a lot of plastic products out there, even cosmetics and things like that. But in sex toys, it's even a bigger issue because, usually your skin will protect you from danger and will, just clear out any toxicity you can have in a product. It will protect your organism. But in the case of sex toys, especially inside the body, it will go directly to your mucous membrane and directly in the blood flow.
Wow.
So it's like a direct access to your genitals.
Ooh, Lord. No thanks.
Definitely no thanks. So I was really shocked when I discovered that because some sex shop are aware of the problem, but most manufacturers won't talk about it.
Okay.
It's starting to be a bit more of concern in the industry, but since it's such a huge industry with so much money, they prefer to do it overseas in cheap industries and things like that, and don't really watch their or control their quality. Mm-hmm. And the only plastic that is safe for internal use is in the long term is silicone, medical grade silicone.
Okay.
But since there's no obligation for the manufacturer to tell you what they put in the toy, you have no way of knowing what grade of silicone it is or even if it's silicone. Really? Yeah.
I'm just curious if there's a list of companies that make toys responsibly, or if there are like a list, is there a list anywhere that we could refer our listeners to that would just show them, which companies either to stay away from or which companies to support?
I think Dangerous Lady, which is, she's a reviewer of sex toys online.
Okay.
She specializes in toxic sex toys, making her people aware of what is dangerous or not. I could try to find you a link on her website.
Yeah, we'll explore that. That sounds good because, we want our listeners to be making the most conscious choices about purchasing the safest sex toys so that, the whole point, right, is to open up your sexuality, open up your intimacy and using sex toys as a way to do that, to access that.
Yeah, and to take care of yourself in in multiple ways. Definitely. So the safest materials, if you want, for sex toys are medical grade silicone, as I said, stainless steel, Pyrex, the glass toys, and we choose porcelain for our toys.
Great. So you actually use porcelain.
Exactly. We decided to use porcelain because it's really a great material. First of all, once it's cooked, it's vitrified, so there's nothing that can go inside the product. It's cooked at, I think, 1200 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
Even no metals can go in this oven because everything will melt. Except
wow.
So it's pretty cooked. It's cooked like that twice, and it's really a strong material that can last for decades, even for centuries, if you can take care of it.
Wow.
You can warm it, cool it, use it with the silicone-based lubricant or water-based lubricant, which you cannot do with silicone-based toys, because if you use a silicone-based lubricant with a silicone-based toy, the toy will melt.
Okay.
So it's, and already silicone toys are pretty expensive, so you don't want to melt it. So, but us can use it whatever you want with it.
And how did you come to porcelain? Like, what was the trajectory that kind of led you to make that decision from a product standpoint?
We really wanted to, choose aesthetically pleasing material. And stainless steel for me is way too clinical. It's really a medical vibe.
Yeah.
It really didn't carry the vibe that I wanted to carry in our products. And also there's the possibility of toys made out of wood. But when they're made out of wood, you don't know what it's put over the wood, to seal it.
When I would imagine that wood would have other issues as well, because it is porous.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. You need to put an oil on it or a varnish or a lacquer or something like that. And none of these issues are sustainable in the long term or healthy.
Yeah. Well, and I'm just thinking like slivers. Ouch. I mean,
yeah.
I
don't know. Definitely. You don't want any slivers there.
Yeah. Well, and so your products have been inspired by a technique that you said was used in, or is used in sexology, sensate focus. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so during my research, I did a bit of research in sexology, and I found this technique, which is used in sex therapy, that when you have trouble connecting with your partner and, enjoying your sexuality, it's a bit like mindfulness. Sensate focus is really just to connect with your five senses to ground you in the moment so you can really enjoy what's happening instead of thinking of your grocery list or what you have to do at work, which is, sometimes what can happen to derail you from your moment.
Yeah. Or like what the kids are like, whatever. So what is the practice like? What does it look like?
I think that what they usually do is they will ask you to focus on one sense at a time. So like us, we created an eye mask for people to really just focus on the sense of touch. So just focusing on that sense and, or even your sense of smell or your sense of taste, one at a time, to bring people more into a mindfulness kind of state of mind. Because I think mindfulness is not really a term used in sexology, but with time, I think that's what looks more like sensate focus.
Yeah. And I think it was Eva Clay who was talking about doing like an eye gazing activity where you just,
20 seconds.
just sitting and, starting with 20 seconds or 10 seconds and just looking into each other's eyes without looking away as a way to get connected.
Definitely. Because that's one of the main issues with our product. What we wanted to create is really create a set of tools that would be there for people to help them reconnect with their body and with their partners. Because that's what I think the issue was with sex toys. Yes, you have sex toys that can bring you an orgasm in 1 minute or 2 minutes, because some sex toys advertise like this. Oh, we can bring you to orgasm in 1 minute. Yeah, but where's the fun in that?
Yeah, it's like,
practical, definitely. But
yeah, like maybe once in a while, but part of the joy is the journey, right?
Definitely. And I think that's one of the main issues with big sex toys company is that they're male owned and everything is designed by male or even engineers. So their point of view on sex toys is really different from mine. Mine is really more on the way of user experience and bringing you the more pleasurable experience, even from when you're unpacking your toys until you use it. But, engineers, when they try to sell you their sex toys, it's like, oh, mine is more, makes less noise and is, the motor of it. Is like that amount of energy and battery rechargeable. And I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for in sex toys.
Yeah.
Definitely not. So that was one of the issues. So yeah, we wanted to create toys that would connect people with their partner and each other. That's why we chose an aesthetically really lean aesthetic for our products. We don't have any reference in your mind about anything else. It's really just in the moment and the product is really just a tool. It's not, the main focus is not on the product. It's on you and on your self-discovery and taking your time for yourself. So that's why with our porcelain products, we have a booklet that comes with it.
Okay.
To, teach people about what is the clitoris, what is the G-spot, what are yoga poses that you can use to release tension in your pelvic floor, how to share your fantasies with your partners, things like that. Really,
that's great.
Much course. Because, most people don't even know that the clitoris is an inside organ, that even G-spot is still unknown for some people. So we really wanted to give information to our customers. That was the main mission of the company.
Yeah, education. I mean, because, it's hard to know how to work with everything that you have to work with if you don't know where it is or how to access it or how to touch it. And, it's like the tip of the clitoris is just the very beginning of that organism, right?
Yeah.
It's like that's just the very tip. It actually goes down and along both sides of, I guess I'm not sure exactly medically like how to describe that, but it's actually, it's much larger than I ever thought it was until I actually saw an image of it.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty huge. It goes around all the walls of the vagina on the side. And it's really, maybe the clitoris that most people know is maybe 2%, 3% of the whole organ. So it's really quite a big piece of you. And also with my research, I found out actually that sometimes more boys know about the clitoris than women.
Wow. Interesting.
They did a research in a university in the US where I think 26% of male didn't know where the clitoris was, and 29% of female didn't know where the clitoris was.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it was pretty shocking.
That is interesting.
Especially here in Quebec, we didn't have sex ed for like 10 years in our classes. So people are more and more bombarded every day with sexualized image and sexualized content, but they don't know how to handle it properly.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the TED by Cindy Gallup.
Oh, I may have seen that a while back.
Yeah, it may be like 5 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, I should watch that again.
Yeah, we'll try to put in the show notes for sure.
Yeah,
it's
and
great.
She's the O. Who is she? Did she start the? I'm blanking on the name of the organization.
Big Love, Not Porn.
Okay.
And I think she's a marketer, and with time she started to see, a gap between her and her younger partner, where they thought that it was okay, just to come in the face of your partner without asking. Besides film and porn, that they didn't know how to act in real life, we should interact with another partner. So she decided to start her own website about, people doing porn at home and, just to see what real sexuality look like.
Wow. Interesting. Well, and there's a lot to do with consent here too.
Yeah.
Right. And like communication and in all of sexuality and intimacy, it's like, gosh, communication is key. And so we have to be like confident and courageous to communicate, because this is like a very sensitive thing that you're communicating about, and you don't know how the other person is going to receive it. And then, you know, God, so important to ask, like, would you like this? Can I try this?
Yeah.
You know,
ask first.
Yeah, ask first.
Yeah, no, communication is definitely a big issue these days, and it's difficult, you know. Even us, we have troubles, you know, marketing our products because we cannot do any advertising on Facebook or on Google. When you have this policy on Google and other platforms that if you are trying to sell, you know, sex toys or adult toys, you cannot pay for advertising.
Really?
Yeah, so even though we have an ethical message and trying to, you know, educate people and things like that, we cannot get the message through because we have so many barriers. Even with grants for small businesses or things like that, we're just cut off because we're in the sex market.
Very interesting. Okay, I didn't realize that.
No, it's definitely an issue for us in Quebec. Though we won some grant and some money when I was back in business school. After I did industrial design, I went into business school for a year and I won some grant there for the project so I could start my first production and start a business. But since then, we have struggled with a lot of barriers since we're in the sex industry.
That is interesting.
I could do bras and win, you know, all the money in the world, but female masturbation is such a difficult topic to bring on a public place.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just, oh, Lord, I just really honor your courage to like venture into this whole industry, you know, and at a young age, too. Like, it's amazing. I'm so inspired by you.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, talk a little bit about the design of, so you have a suite of products, right?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but your sort of the signature product, would you say, is the Dahlia?
Yes. Our more popular and sell is the Dalia, which is a porcelain dildo. It can be used on both sides. There's a side for the G-spot stimulation and, you know, just finding it.
Okay.
If you haven't found it yet, it's a very narrow tip so you can explore inside. And the other side is for Kegel exercising.
Oh, awesome.
So it's really, we wanted to use every inch of the product at its best. We wanted also to create products that would be comfortable ergonomically for older people or people with disabilities. So we did a lot of research in the shapes of the products. And this one is pretty renowned. The Dalia one was nominated actually in the XBiz Awards last year for Best Luxury Sex Toy alongside with other pretty known products out there. So we were pretty proud of that.
That's amazing.
Thank you. We were very surprised by that nomination because we didn't apply for it.
Really?
I just received an email. You've been nominated. And I was like, okay, but who applied for us? Who took the time to send our name there?
Oh, I love that. Maybe a fan, maybe one of your customers.
Maybe one of our customers, or we work with reviewers online also. There's a big community of sex toy reviewers out there. They will try it and, you know, tell you their story about how they enjoyed the unpacking. And it's really like any reviewers out there, but they're specialized usually in sex toys.
Oh, that's great. So like the entire user experience from like receiving it, touching the packaging, opening it, feeling it, using it, cleaning it, all of that.
Yeah, all of that, even using it with your partner, what your partner thought of it.
That's cool.
It's really great for us too, you know, because most of our customers, if they come back with a review on our products, they will not go in details, in intimate details about how they use the product. But reviewers are really detail oriented and they took their own photo of the product so people see what it really looks like in a normal bedroom. So I think one of them might have sent us because you need to be a member of XBiz to submit a product.
Okay.
It's probably one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I love the picture that you have on your website. It's desirables.ca because the company is based in Montreal. And that image that you have of the clay of, you know, and how it's formed. And like you see it just as like this ball of clay and then you see it like starting to be carved out and, you know, in each sort of stage of the development of that product. And it's just so cool. It's so cool to see it laid out that way.
The craftsmanship behind the product is really amazing. We do business with local ceramists. That's how we make our products. We design it, but we find local ceramists in our region to do the production for us.
Okay.
Because they know better how to do it and how to craft a high quality product than I could ever do. So it's really nice, you know, when you go to meet them and you see your products in the oven and you can see all the steps. And it's really amazing. And most of our customers are really aware that it's handmade. And each product is very unique in that way.
I mean, you could literally have it like sitting out on your nightstand or your dresser, and you may not even think that it would be a sex toy.
No, as that's a comment that we receive often from clients that we meet. When we go in pop-up shops and things like that, they're like, oh, I could just let it, you know, stand on my bedside table and nobody would think that it's even a sex toy.
Exactly. I love that. It's super discreet.
That's what we wanted too. We wanted something that would be more clean and more, you know, that some of our customers are usually they won't buy sex toys. They never thought about buying a sex toys until they saw our product. And then they decided that when they're going to buy one, it's going to be this one because it doesn't feel like a cheap sex toy.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. And so can anyone purchase this product or your other products online, or does it have to be Canadian residents? No,
we ship worldwide.
That's great.
We ship pretty fast too. We use Canadian Post that maybe in 2-3 days it's at your door.
Wow.
And it's a very discreet packaging, you know, because if you ship at the office or if you live with anybody else, you live with roommates, you don't want them to know that you just order a sex toy. You know? You want your privacy. So it's a very subtle packaging, and we try to, you know, put our personal note in it. At the moment, we even have a special edition of the Dalia.
Okay.
We hand paint every one of them. We have one that is sparkled with the cobalt blue paint, and the other one is a marble edition.
Very cool.
So we do a handmade faux fini, what we call it, to make it look like marble, but it's actually porcelain because marble would be porous. So it has all the advantage of porcelain, but it looks more high-end a bit. We even have also one of the product that I love the most about our suite of product is the massage stones. The picture you were talking about the clay and the different stage. This is the massage stone, what we call they are actually stones that you put in your hand. I wanted to create a device that would bring people to take more time for massage, because massage is one of the great way to reconnect with your partner, to discover their body and really take more time for preliminaries. Is that the right word?
Yeah. So it's like foreplay, like just like warming each other up.
Exactly. Foreplay is the right word. So I wanted to create a device, you know, that would permit you to have more skin to skin contact. Mm-hmm. You know, some massage device, it's just, you know, a roulette that you roll in the back and you don't feel your partner, you don't feel their skin on your skin. But the big issue with hand massage at home is that people would feel a lot of pressure in their hands and on their bones because the way we usually massage when you don't have a course. So I designed those stones to relieve the pressure from your bones, and it's really the shape of the stone that will go and fetch the muscle for you and relax. And you can warm them, so it's a bit like a hot massage, hot stone massage. You can use them with oil, with powder, with cream, and you have 3 different sizes for different kind of massage and also different size of hands. So in a box, you're sure that you and your partner will have both a product that will fit in your hand.
That's great. And so do 3 come in a package or?
Yeah, they always come in a package of 3.
Okay. So that's amazing. I'm like, sign me up right now.
We do have a special price for if you buy the Dalia and the massage stone together, we offer a discount.
Oh, great.
And we also offer a discount if you buy the massage stones and our massage oil together.
Okay.
And also for your customer, because some of our listeners will wonder, porcelain isn't breakable. Actually, it is if you drop it on a concrete floor, but in use, it's one of the strongest material out there.
Okay.
And we know that, accident happens. So for every one of our porcelain products, we offer a 5 years, no question asked warranty.
Wow.
We call it the whoops policy.
That's awesome. The whoops. Whoops.
Oops.
We got a little excited there.
We had too much fun and we dropped it on the floor. So what we usually do is if our customer break it, he just sends us the picture of the product and we'll ship a new one.
Wow. Awesome. That's amazing. And so what are some of the benefits that your customers, share with you that they've received from using your products?
We have a lot of different kind of customers. At the beginning, when I started the company, I was sure that it would be, a woman in their mid-20s, early 30s that would buy my products because that's the, research out there was telling me that. But when I started my first pop-up shop, some older women come to talk to me because younger women would be ashamed or timid about the products. So we have a lot of older customers, women in their 50s, even 60s, buy the Dahlia because it looks so elegant.
Yeah.
Their relation to porcelain is not the same that we have because they add more of it in their life. We're more a plastic generation when they are more a traditional kind of material generation.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of older women would buy our Dahlia, and I had received some amazing reviews or comments from those clients because, that's one of the best perks of starting a company in sex toys. And when you hear stories that the product that you designed, that you took time to, craft, has really helped people in their life. We had a woman that bought it after her divorce and just really helped her reconnect with her sexuality. Same story with people who had a divorce or even menopause. I even had a testimony from a girl in her early 20s that was just coming back from cancer. And with chemo, she had early menopause. So she was really devastated with it because, she was in her early 20s with her young boyfriend that has followed her through all her problems and therapies and things like that. And she was really so sad about having lost this connection with her sexuality because the body wasn't there anymore.
Wow.
When I talked to her about our products and all, she was really excited, to having a possibility to reconnect with herself. And also after a cancer, especially in the pelvic floor area, you cannot put all kind of toys in there because your membranes are way too sensible.
Oh.
So we have some customers that, buy it because it's really the cleanest and without any chemicals, any taints in it. It's really just the hypoallergenic sex toy you can find on the market. So those are really great stories for me, even though it's sad for those people. I'm just glad that I could help them, reconnect with their sexuality. So we had even stories from young mothers that, after birth, it's a pretty traumatic experience for your vagina. Yeah.
I mean, some women tear, and I mean, I have friends who have torn really badly, and it's been like years since they've been able to have like comfortable sex and even like orgasm. Like it's just like this a painful experience every time.
Yeah, definitely. So we had some customers in that area. That's why actually we're starting a new brand in a couple of months that will only, target physical therapists in the pelvic floor area and people in the, doulas and things like that for after birth. Because
great.
That the product is perfect for them because it's biocompatible, it's hypoallergenic, and the shape of it is perfect to go massage the interior walls of the vagina. So if you have a knot in your muscles in your pelvic floor area, you need to massage it to relieve the pressure. Mm-hmm. That pressure could cause a lot of pain. So what what a PT will do is that it will massage you at the clinic, but at home you need to massage yourself. So you need tools for that because it's kind of uncomfortable only with your hand.
Yeah.
So we'll try to provide solutions for them in the future.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm just thinking myself, like the first time that I had a vaginal massage by a myofascial massage therapist was a couple of years ago. I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, something like that. And up until that point, I think maybe like within a few years before that, I was aware that, people that specialized in massage and healing would do like vaginal massage for certain things to get, release scar tissue and different issues. But it's interesting to just think that like I never really even knew about that for most of my life. Like that there are people who work in that specific area of a woman's body to heal trauma or stress or, whatever it might be, and that it's not sexual.
It was a discovery for me too. Yeah. About years ago, we were contacted actually by a PT that was using our products because she discovered it with a client. But until then, I never knew that was a specialty for, physical therapist or other massage specialist.
Yeah, it's really amazing. Gosh, that made me think of something else. The thought just flew away, but maybe it'll come back before we end our conversation here. But like it's just so powerful. This is what I was going to share is that, the pelvic area for a woman or a man, it's just another part of the body, right? So like the vulva and the vagina is like, just like any other part of the body, like the hand or the nose or the ear or the neck or the breast or, it's like, and because of its function and its power and its mystery, all these different stories and feelings associated with it, like it just carries so much weight almost.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's almost been like this, like, well, I grew up Roman Catholic. So it was sort of like this, like almost like ignore it's there.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I feel it and it's tingling and and it's like, it's there, it's alive. It's like a part of my living body. And
it's an important part of our body.
Like very important, right? So,
but it's such an occidental point of view, because if you go into Chinese medicine or more Buddhism, this region is the chi. So it's the center of your being. All your power is centered there. And it's really, they're way more open about it. And it's, importance in your life and in your body than we are because we grew up Catholic.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, let's just totally recreate the story here. Isabelle, this has been so insightful, this conversation. I'm just super stoked that we got you on the podcast to talk about this because, like I said, we haven't really talked about sex toys. And this conversation, I know for me, has been really eye-opening. And I trust that our listeners are, getting information and learning from this podcast. And tell us, how can we find you online?
So you can find us at www.desirables.ca. And for other platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, we'll put the links in the show notes.
Yep.
I wanted to tell you how grateful I am for this opportunity. It's been a pleasure doing my first podcast with you.
Yay!
Yay!
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm really glad that we had a chance to talk, and I'm sure we'll talk in the future as well.
Yeah.
And let me know if you come in Montreal.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think probably in the spring, and I will love an opportunity to meet you. And I've got to get my hands on some of your products. So desirables.ca, we'll have the link and all the social media links in the show notes. And Isabelle, I just thank you so much. Just thank you for being courageous and inspired and taking this action and creating what you've created. This is absolutely amazing. And to be, a young woman fresh out of college, doing this work in the world, you're already the president of your own company. And it's just so empowering. Like, it's really inspiring. So, give thanks for just stepping up and being on the court, like playing full out.
Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you for helping people with their intimacy and sharing your knowledge with the world.
It's my pleasure. And it's through, the discovery that we're doing that we can share it with everyone else, which is super exciting and a joy of living in the digital age. So Ignite Intimacy Community, you are listening to Miss Laura and Isabelle Deslauriers. She started Désirables or Désirables in summer of 2013. And she's got some incredible products, both sex toy and massage products, including like actual massagers and oils and candles. And she's got some really amazing things. So check her out online, desirables.ca. And if you have any questions, comments on this particular episode, please holler at us. hello@igniteintimacy.com, and check us out on iTunes. Leave us a rating and review. It helps other people find the podcast. And we're just so grateful for you. We're actually, by the time you hear this episode, we will have busted through 10,000 downloads. So thank you for listening and supporting us and sharing with your friends. And Isabelle, again, merci beaucoup. It's been a real pleasure.
Merci.
All right. Ciao for now, everyone. Stay blessed, and we'll see you on the next one. Give thanks for tuning in to another conversation on the Ignite Intimacy podcast hotline. We love that you choose to spend your time with us. Check us out online at igniteintimacy.com and subscribe to us on iTunes. Also, tell your friends all about it. This beautiful music was arranged by Jason Pfaff and Mike Corey, and this podcast is produced by yours truly, Miss La. Give thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one. In the meantime, let your light shine bright and ignite your intimacy.